Hola, I am Courtney and thank you for coming to my channel. I started the channel because I wanted a way to just express things that I was feeling. So I know they say your YouTube channel should have like a theme, but this one does not. I guess the theme would be things that I really like to talk about. One of them is relationships. I have dated for years and years and years. I am in 45 right now, so I have a little bit of a dating advice, So one thing that I really want to talk about today is how not to get attached to a guy too quickly, because I have myself been in that position many a time where I find myself just enamored with somebody and they don't reciprocate that. And that can be a pretty bad place to be in, but it's also, you know, taking accountability for the fact that you put yourself in that situation. So I had to look at myself and say to myself, you gotta get some skills with the detachment. So this is what I did. And this is what I make sure that I don't do when I'm dating. So one, if I'm looking down because I have notes, because I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss this beat. But one, I would say don't fantasize about the man. You know how like when you meet someone and you're already envisioning your wedding, them how they're gonna propose, what your kids are gonna look like. Don't do that. Stop. Don't do that. And if you can't not do that, because for me, I'm a person that automatically I don't envision like the wedding and things like that, but I envision things that I may want to do with him. You know, like, oh, it would be nice if we went here, like and that's fine. I think that's fine. But even with that, what you want to do is, if you envision things, just be okay with them not turning out that way. So you want to remain detached to the outcome. So think to yourself, it would be nice if things turned out that way. But if they don't stress it. They just didn't turn out that way. Like, you just didn't get that ring. You just didn't marry that guy. And another one won't come along. So have that mindset. That goes in with the second thing. Sorry, you guys. They are doing my neighbor's lawn and my dog is gonna go crazy. So maybe I should record this a little later. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, but if she gets too loud, I'll just stop. But that goes along with the second thing, which is okay, yeah, I think I'm going to stop it. So that goes along with the second thing, which is to have an abundance mindset. Have an abundance mindset. Don't limit yourself to the people in your immediate area. You know, if you're on Match or online, look outside your immediate area. Look outside the country. Look outside the country. There are men everywhere. You know, don't get attached to this one man before you even know him and before you know his motives. The third thing I would say is to listen to what he says and believe it. If he tells you he's not ready for a relationship, don't go any further with him. Don't in your head, you know, be like, oh, well, he's not ready for a relationship. But there's no but. There's no but. He said he's not ready. He doesn't want it. Maybe he doesn't want it with you. Maybe he wants it with someone else, but he doesn't want it. So don't put yourself in that situation where you're very involved with him and he's able to just come back and be like, well, I said I didn't want a relationship, when you see him out with somebody else or something like that. Don't do it. When a man says that, just keep it moving. Or if you want to wait and see if he'll come around, just like I said, have that abundance mindset and don't put all your apples in that basket. That's all I would say. Just to keep your heart safe, don't put all your apples in that basket. Or is it eggs? What do you put in the basket? Eggs. Don't put all your eggs in the basket. Y'all know what you know what I'm saying. So that goes along with the next little bit of advice, which is to date other people. Keep your options open. Do not until this man commits to you fully, until out of his mouth you hear, I want to be with you and only you, continue to date other people. If there are other people around to date, do so. Talk to other people on the phone. You know, just keep that mentality that you're single until you're not, until he makes it official. And yeah, sometimes we will want that person to make it official quicker than they're ready to, but you don't want that. Because if you have to push a man, or even with me, with a woman, if you have to push me into doing something and I don't want to be with you, I'm going to wind up resenting you in the end anyway. And I'm pretty sure they will feel the same way. I'm pretty sure you would feel the same way. If a guy you were not feeling, sorry, he may not be feeling you like that, but if a guy you were not feeling like that pushed you into something, in the long run, you're going to wind up resenting him. So don't do that. You know, don't, if he's not ready, he's not ready. And that's just life. Just keep it moving. There are other men out there. Okay, the next one, this may be something most people may not want to do, but don't sleep with him. Don't have sex with him. Do not get physically involved with him until he's made it known that if you're looking for a monogamous relationship, that you are the only one that he's going to be intimate with in that manner. So for me, like I said, again, this is what I make sure I do. I would not get physical with someone that, for me, I don't love, first of all, and that I know doesn't love me. Because initially, even I think even with men, I know they're so physically motivated, but even with them, in order for them to have a relationship, and I think it's just across the board with human beings, you first have to be mentally involved. And you want that person to have their heart involved and mentally involved before you go, before you have sex with them, unless you just want sex. If you just want sex, then, you know, it's your life, have at it. But that's just what I would do. The next one is realize they're human. And I guess most of them are human. Some of them are. Okay, I had some bad experiences with men, but I also had some great ones. But yeah, realize they're human. You know, they're going to have faults. They're going to disappoint you. And if you get attached too quickly and that person disappoints you greatly, that can affect you going ahead past them, and sometimes make you bitter because you expect so much of them. So basically try not to expect that much of them. That sounds bad, but you shouldn't expect a man, how can I put this? You shouldn't expect him to be perfect. You shouldn't expect him to know what you're thinking. You shouldn't expect certain things, like him saying all the right things. And with that expectation, it's like we hold them so high on a pedestal sometimes, and we need to just, you know, put them off the pedestal, kick them off the pedestal, because they're human. So, okay. Jeez, it's so much noise in here today. My alarm was going off, so I had to go stop my alarm. But like I was saying, they're human. So yeah, just you know, you want to detach from this fairy tale of them being your knight in shining armor and coming through and rescuing you and have given you the wedding and life of your dream. Yeah, detach from all that. They're human beings, so they're flawed. And I say that too because sometimes if we have that fantasy in our head, it's like we can get attached so much quicker because they're showing us. Initially, they're going to show us, just like us. We're going to put our best foot forward too. But initially, they're going to show us exactly what we want to see. So we can get really attached in that manner. The next piece of advice kind of goes along with the last piece of advice, is to really get to know the person, you know, before you decide to give your heart to them. Really deep down, get to know them. Ask the questions, ask the right questions, knowing what someone does for a living, how much money they make, what car they drive, where they live, that's good. But do they have any addictions? Have they cheated in all their last relationships? Is there a history of mental illness in their family or with them? Are they sane? Get the important questions. There are a plethora of books that you can grab to help you with what questions you should ask. One I know of, I'll link in the description below. It's by Ashley Empowers and her husband, and I forgot the name of it, but I'll link it. So yeah, ask that. Also, so yeah, make sure you're getting to know the person first, because they could portray to be anyone. And sometimes they can portray to be anyone for years and years and years. So, get to know them as much as possible before you decide to go all in. And the last thing that I would say is definitely use your mind. I don't know what I'm doing, my heart, but use your head before you use your heart going in. So use more logic than your heart. If you notice red flags, get out of there. Your heart may want to stay, but your head is telling you that something's not right. Something's not right. Something is probably not right. So you'll want to move on, or at least keep that in the back of your head, so that if you get more signs, that you can leave. And if you remain detached, it's easier to just kick rock. Be like, it's easier to leave, basically, if you can remain detached. So the timeline for that is, for remaining detached, is different for everyone, for every relationship, because every man is different, every woman is different. Some men do have ulterior motives, and in that timeline, sometimes you'll figure out, like, this person is not who he says he was. He's not here for the reasons he says he was, and you can kind of move from there. So don't get so attached so quickly, please, because it can cause real issues in your life, not only in that relationship, but in your life. Because going forward, if you get too attached too quickly, there can be some repercussions. You can become bitter. You can think of all men as horrible human beings, when in essence, if you would have slowed down, if you would have taken the time to get to know that man, if you would not have given so much of yourself so quickly, that would not have happened. So my advice too would be to remain very, like I said, logical. It's okay to get some emotions involved, but you want to be able to pull back if need be. But my advice to you would definitely be to take accountability for your past relationships and do a really good self-check and see why those past relationships have ended up the way they did. For me personally, a lot of my relationships that I knew were not for me, were not for me going in. I had the signs. I had red flags. I had yellow flags. Like, slow down. I had people tell me one time with one guy that I shouldn't be involved with him, but I kept going because I was using my heart. I wasn't using my head. So it made it more difficult to kind of just get out of it. So yeah, my hope for you is that your next relationship is your last relationship, because it is going to be the love of your life. And that's another thing. This is another video, but I think like our westernized relationships are so based on fallacies. Yeah, you want to love the person, but a lot of times you grow in that love, so throughout the relationship. But that's a whole nother video. So that's all I wanted to say today. I hope this was helpful for someone. I think of myself as a big sister, big cousin to my cousins, and like the kids in my family and my friends' kids. So hopefully this advice kind of resounded with someone, and you're able to take it in and really think about your next relationship, and hopefully it helps. Bye.